Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Are you a film fan who loves the ultimate home video experience? Look no further than The Disconnected. Your host, Ryan Verrill, is your go-to source for the latest and most accurate information on home video releases, exclusive interviews with industry insiders and filmmakers, and has established a thriving community where every film and physical media enthusiast feels welcome. From hidden gems to blockbuster hits, The Disconnected brings you insider knowledge and a welcoming space to share your love of cinema. Watch every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the live announcements show and follow The Disconnected on social media to stay updated. Subscribe to The Disconnected on YouTube or on the podcast provider of your choice and dive into a world where every movie night is an adventure.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Welcome to the Shabby Detective, yet another Columbo podcast. I'm your host, Mike Wojcik, and we, of course, is Mr. Chris Dashew.
I prefer to be known as the Gay Blade.
All right, so it shall be. On this episode, we're talking about the sixth and final episode of Season 4, A Deadly State of Mind, directed by Harvey Hart, written by Peter S. Fisher, who's been the showrunner this season. It originally aired April 27th, 1975. I admitted last month that I screwed up thinking that all of these were 90-minute episodes. This is another 70-minute episode. I have to say, probably could have been a 60-minute episode because there's a little bit of time wasting in here, at least in my opinion. But Chris, I'm very curious, what did you think of A Deadly State of Mind?
There he goes, everyone, saying that there's a little bit of time wasting in this episode. This is one of the Columbo episodes where Columbo knows who did it the moment he sees him. And we've had this conversation before about this. We'll continue to have this conversation about this as we continue to watch this show together. They can do it well. They can do it right. They can do it in a way that works. This is not one of those episodes. I actually am disappointed with this episode because I enjoyed the performances. I really like Leslie Ann Warren, obviously. I don't know. Have we talked about this? You're not a fan of Clue. You are a fan of Clue.
I didn't see Clue until just a few years ago and really enjoyed it. And yes, okay. I love Leslie Ann Warren. She is so great.
She's great here, but like,
oh yeah, her and
Victoria. Shame, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Victor Victoria. That's right. I saw that earlier this year as well. Yeah,
King Marchese.
She is wasted here because she plays a character that we've seen before. And they give her one note, which is constantly exasperated. It's not that she can't do it, and it's actually far from it. Leslie Ann Warren is a very talented actress, so she can do it. It's just that is really not making the most of her abilities as an actress to pigeonhole her into one thing where she's just, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's like her whole character. And given that this is Columbo, given that we spend a lot of time with these characters along with Columbo, you and I would prefer to have a character that's not written so one note, especially when we're going to spend half of the damn episode with her. And we're also meant to, at some point, empathize with her plight and feel bad for her, and then even feel worse for her when George Hamilton hypnotizes her to jump off of a ledge, which is, we'll get to that when we get to it. But I think this episode's fine. It definitely could have been 10 minutes shorter, and it definitely needed one more looky-loo, as they would say, of the writer's room, because it's just fine. There's nothing to it that I think imminently sets it apart from any other episode, other than maybe the reveal at the end, which is such a fucking cheat. Okay, once he gets hung up, the reveal at the end of this episode, such a crock of fucking shit. They should be ashamed of themselves, okay? You get to do this one time, you motherfuckers. This is like in The Sopranos. They have something similar where it's like, oh, he has a brother. Fuck you, show. You get one opportunity to do this, Columbo, and I hope you don't do it again, because this is utter bullshit. They literally, it's like having a card in your pocket the whole time and never letting anybody see it. Oh, here's the actual reveal, and it's, oh, cool. So the reveal aside, I thought this episode was fine, but to your point, there's about 10 minutes in here that could be cut. I'm assuming we're on the same page as to what those 10 minutes are.
Oh yeah, we'll get there, definitely.
What about you, Mike?
You're right. When it comes to Leslie Ann Ward, she's already got her voice to contend with. I love her voice. I love her. I love when she shows up in things. I've already mentioned Victoria. I really love her in Color of Night. Basically, whenever she's there, like she played a great Lois Lane in this musical version of Superman that aired on TV years and years ago. I just can't get enough of her. She's got the voice though, and when we meet her, she's being age regressed through hypnotism to a little girl state, and she never really changes her voice out of that. She's a little girl through this whole episode, which makes it tough that George Hamilton is so attracted to her. Of course, she's a beautiful woman, but she just gets infantilized through this whole episode. Wouldn't you go for someone else? And then this whole weird thing of like him, what is it? Is he writing a book, doing research? And
reminds me of the book Michelle Remembers that ended up being debunked about a woman who was regressed, and it turned out she was like raped by a satanic cult. I was like, oh, now we're doing this thing too. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what a just dud. They don't go anywhere with it. They don't really do anything with it.
No.
And then they pull a Robert Culp too, where he's a Leonard Nimoy, where he's doing all this, but he's also a doctor. So it's, oh, but then there's actually like the doctor machinations of it all happening as well. And then we have the other doctor that he's also schmoozing with. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on here. And ultimately, to what end? None end. Like, it's another episode of Columbo shows up, looks George Hamilton up and down and goes, he did it. Like,
as soon as he asks him for a light, he basically knows, and he hasn't even seen the flint for the lighter yet.
Yeah.
That's so conspicuous. And I don't know if he knows it, but we know it as the audience. We might even know it before Columbo does, because it's just, there you go. You're tripped up just because of the emphasis and weight they put on this match. And just that after the murder, he immediately starts smoking, and you're like, oh, okay. That's going to come of it because it seems so conspicuous.
That and the tire, when they do the shot, the close-up of the tire.
The close-up, yes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, are we stupid? Or I get it. Like, again, 70s, fine, whatever, not writing. 75, not necessarily writing. I don't know. I don't even want to give him that because that's not the fucking case. No, fuck that, because this show is better than that.
Exactly.
This show has been better than that consistently. And that, like, when they close up of the tire going through the mud, I was like, oh, I hope that doesn't come back at some point. Jesus, episode. Subtlety, what is that? We've lost all attempts at subtlety all of a sudden.
It reminds me of, luckily when the Cassavetes kills the pianist and he comes out later on after they've found the body and all that stuff, and he comes out and he's got the no flower on his jacket and stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, or he has the flower at that point. He didn't have the flower in the original thing, and they give us a little bit of a, hey, check this out. But we've seen the flower fall and all this. It doesn't feel nearly as ham-fisted. And that's the thing with Harvey Hart directing this. It shouldn't be as ham-fisted as this. It's, be a lot more subtle, please.
No, subtlety is not the name of the game with Columbo anymore, which is fucking bizarre because it does. I don't feel like the show lacks subtlety. I feel like the show, for the most part, the least subtle thing about the show is the fact that it constantly feels like Columbo always knows he's going to catch the person the moment he sees them. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay with that. We've dealt with that now enough that I'm sure I sound like a fucking broken record for some people. But at the same time, the best episodes of this show make it so that there is some doubt, so that there is a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of give and get with Columbo and the murderer or murderers.
Right.
And in this episode, we get the tantalizing secondary murder, which we haven't had in a while.
No, it's been a little bit. And it's weird, too, because the first murder is a crime of passion. It's when Stephen Elliott as Carl Donner attacks George Hamilton as Dr. Mark Collier, or Collier, I guess they pronounce it in this. And it's okay, good. Crime of passion. Tried to be a big man and, hey, I'm taking Nadia away from you. And when he finally starts to do it, Elliott's just, no, we're not doing this. We're going to go ahead and just try to beat you up. Stephen Elliott as Carl Donner, as soon as I heard his voice, I just immediately went to a role that he would play quite a few years later in Beverly Hills Cop. He plays the chief of police in Beverly Hills itself and has a great, very distinct voice in that, which Eddie Murphy makes fun of. And he's using the exact same voice in this, very Stenorian, very voice of God type of thing. I'm like, okay, this works. I like him, but I wish there was a lot more of him.
Ultimately, the real problem with this episode, not that I hadn't thought about this, but it's more apparent the more I sit here and think about it. Wouldn't the right answer be, if you're the two of them, just say it was in defense, like he was attacking her in self-defense? I don't understand.
Like, so fragile.
Yeah, like I don't get it. This is pure self-defense. She's being attacked, and George Hamilton defends her. He doesn't intend to kill him. He hits him once and kills him. That a coroner would see that. I don't know. I feel like that's maybe my real issue with this episode, is that I think at its core, the premise is completely flawed. 100%. Like 100%. It's shockingly flawed, frankly.
Yes, I agree with you 100% on all of that.
For the first time in the run of this show, these two people did nothing to deserve what they ended up doing to themselves additionally. They should have just been like, it was self-defense in the story. Like, literally, that's it. Like, it's fucking bizarre to me. It's not that it doesn't make any sense, but there's other ways to get around this. Just have George Hamilton show up and kill him. Just have George Hamilton attack him because he's berating him, because he's talking down to him, because he's taking offense at his manhood or something. Anything more than just he starts attacking her, a frail woman, and this guy defends her. As far as I'm concerned, that's self-defense. Like, it undercuts the episode entirely from the get-go.
Yeah, instead of this cockamamie story about two guys in ski masks coming and robbing the place and attacking him from behind
with a gun. Then she's a terrible liar, and then he kills her in the hokiest TV hypnotism way that, again, look, I've been hypnotized. You can go check out an episode of Scary Stories We Tell. I did with my friend Emma, who hypnotized me on the episode. I got hypnotized for real. I'm not joking. She didn't make me cluck like a fucking chicken or walk off of a cliff. That's not how that works. That's the television version of hypnotism, which doesn't help the reality of what hypnotism is, which actually helps plenty of people. This is this like TV bullshit. And what I don't get is, why wasn't George Hamilton just like a hypnotist then? Why wasn't he like, why was he a fucking doctor who's doing research on, again, what Robert Culp was doing research on, like the ability to like plant messages or retrieve messages or activate someone through the use of external triggers. And they did it better in the Robert Culp episode. Why do we have to do it here at all?
Columbo sitting on the couch doing the whole mumbling and yeah, it could work. That whole scene, that whole segment of the scene could be cut out completely. It's like It's so much like little pieces of fat on this episode where I'm just like, all right, I guess it's good to see. Like, who's going to complain about seeing more Peter Falk? But at the same time, it's no, I like the leanness of this. I like how quick this thing moves. I like the stories. Like, we're definitely going to review the season, but there've been a lot of better episodes this season where it's just like this clue, and it's just like, all right, this is great. And you don't even have time for any of this cockamamie stuff, like the scene at the hospital with him trying to find the room and he's going down the tape and he can't find. And like, oh my God.
Oh my God. It was so much fun when we saw him talking to the woman with the forms before at the hospital or wherever the hell that was. Remember? They love doing that. Like, somebody's just like, Peter Falk is like, hey, what do you want to do this season? Some dumb shit. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how much money he was making per minute on this show, but he's just 10 minutes of bullshit. That's a new payment on my Alfa Romeo or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, it's that in the dinner party scene. Holy shit. Come on, episode. Like, why don't we just look at George Hamilton and say, this motherfucker did it? There's nobody else it could even remotely fucking be. And it's not kicking around the room. Let's take this guy and arrest him because he clearly did it. But, oh, by the way, we're not going to have any of the most obvious reasons or ways we catch him be the reason he gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been at that dinner party. They should have caught him at the dinner party. That would have been fun. That would have been a nice payoff.
It would have been like a parlor scene in Agatha Christie.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do
Elementary. They even fucking say it. Fuck you. Come on.
I do like this idea of George Hamilton being so brazen that he's going to go over and pick up the phone and make this call and basically murder Leslie Ann Warren from the party that Columbo is at. I'm like, okay, I appreciate what a big man you think you are.
If you stick a gum and let me show you how to chew it.
You're right. Like that, had that parlor scene turned into, or the dinner party turned into a parlor scene, I think that would have been way better. And yeah, Columbo even sees like that whole thing of him sitting on the couch that I was talking about. It's basically an excuse for him to see the lights coming through the doorway. And I'm like, okay, but you could have gotten to that so many other ways. So yeah, it's just bizarre why they made some of these decisions.
And again, I would love to have been in the writer's room when they were making the decisions, but Columbo shows up pretty early on in the episode to Leslie Ann Warren's apartment and George Hamilton's there. And here's another way that he's incriminated himself. I don't know. This is one of the episodes where this guy's incriminating himself with Columbo constantly. And then for the episode to end the way that it ends with all of this incriminatory evidence, and then it's just like, but just kidding. It's a Martin Landau thing, guys. What the? You are technically, they've already done it. They've technically already done it. But they subverted the expectations when they did it with Martin Landau. Here it's, this is how you do it when you're going to do it, right?
Exactly. I appreciate that Bruce Kirby's in this one. I don't know if the character name is the same as the last time we saw him with the Patrick McGowan Military Academy, I should say. Guy. Yeah, he definitely seems to have that same attitude. Just like, what is this guy's problem? Yes.
He's not taken by Columbo's chicanery the way we are.
Yeah. And then it's nice. I know you're not a big fan of the ending of this, but I really do like seeing Fred Draper show up, who we've seen now so many times, including when we watched Woman Under the Influence. He's Gina Rowland's father in that one. And don't forget, he was like scraping makeup off of Vera Miles's face in the cosmetics episode. And then here he shows up in this. And I accidentally flipped to season 6 and the thumbnail, because this is now showing on Amazon Prime as well. The thumbnail on Amazon Prime for season 6, episode 1, Fred Draper's just standing there all alone. I'm like, okay, it's great that he was a regular on here. I thought that, what's the other guy's name? Val Lewis? I thought he was more regular, but I think I'm seeing more Fred Draper these days.
Are you telling me you liked the ending? Or you just didn't find it as much of an affront as I did?
I didn't find it as much of an affront. I liked Fred Draper, quote unquote, playing blind, but not being blind, like affecting some of the mannerisms. Right? It's a total cheat to make him incriminate himself. It's
and
very,
he has a brother, a secret brother. Like, hey,
it's very which can't, the negative was destroyed in the camera kind of
The
thing.
Prestige.
Yeah, where it's just, I know that this guy is blind. How do you know? Because how puts you in the spot. So
I like that aspect of it. I don't like he had a brother. I wish it was just he was blind and you incriminated yourself. That's it. I don't know why they needed to have, they overcomplicated it. What would the issue have been if it was just like, I saw you hit the thing. Oh, he's blind. How would you know he's blind? Oh, because you saw him. You don't need any more than that. Do you need any more? No, you don't need to be like, well, he had a secret brother and it was the brother that you saw. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make this any more of a gotcha moment. It's the same outcome. It's so silly. It's just this weird little cheat that, again, like when there's a secret brother or a secret twin, thanks, Chris Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bit of a cheat, and the show doesn't cheat like that. The show tends to be upfront with what it's doing, but in the execution, it's why we like it so much. Not because it's withholding information. Like this, we like this show because it plays its cards and it plays its cards. We don't like this show because it withholds information like a secret mystery box, like a Damon Lindelof show.
Now, with The Prestige, wasn't that him creating a clone and murdering the clone every time the trick happened?
Was that what it was?
I thought
one of them had a brother at some point.
Yeah, maybe Bale had a brother. I don't know. But I thought Hugh Jackman was murdering his own clones over and over again, thanks to Mr. Nikola Tesla.
David Bowie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doing a great Tesla.
Yeah.
And Andy Serkis as his apprentice or his helper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Again, I'm not bemoaning you were the one there, so you saw it aspect of it. I'm just bemoaning like adding another thing in an episode where it feels like they've already added stuff that was unnecessary that they worked themselves into these weird corners with as it is. And then to work yourself into another weirdo corner because you want to have the guy have a secret blind brother. It's like, oh, whatever. Fuck you, show. Fine. Okay. If you want to do it, fine. If you're going to do it, might as well just do it with gusto and have him walk in from stage right in the closing moments of the episode, which is literally what happens. So,
yeah, it's not the best. There are aspects to it that I like. It's funny because we keep talking about how this one feels like kind of one of those, I don't know, almost like a Magpie episode where you're just like taking little bits and pieces from other stuff and cobbling them together. And It's funny because when I was working at Blockbuster all those many moons ago, I don't think they had that many. Maybe they did, but they definitely didn't have that many episodes of Columbo. But they did have Prescription for Murder, which we talked about that all the way back.
Speaking of many moons ago.
Yes, like young Columbo, not shabby detective Columbo. But the cover art for that, I didn't know what Gene Barry looks like. And I have to say that the caricature of him is not very good. I used to always think that was George Hamilton. So I thought that this was a very popular episode of Columbo because I was like, oh, they've got the VHS for it. Like the only VHS of Columbo at our store with George Hamilton and Peter Falk on the cover. No, you idiot. Both doctors, both psychiatrists. So as you're talking about, they're pulling little pieces. I'm like, yeah, just like this. And like, Columbo doesn't go off on Hamilton's, I don't want to say assistant, co-doctor. Doesn't go off on her, but he definitely is pretty angry when she's trying to blow him off. And he's like, hey, I'm talking about murder here.
The murder, I'm
not mad Columbo, but very serious Columbo.
But don't you like the parallel of the rats following the lines and Columbo following the lines? Oh,
yeah.
So clever. Like, whatever episode.
So you're trying to say that the rats are more clever than Columbo? I don't think so.
I fucking doubt it.
That's good that you picked up on that, though.
Yeah, the lines in the thing are the same colors and everything. So to what end? Who knows? But yeah, it's unfortunate. But at the same time, like you mentioned, there have been plenty of good episodes this season. Speaking of recapping the season, I think we had overall more good episodes than bad.
I think you like Exercise and Fatality a little bit more than I did.
The Bob Conrad episode, Bob to his friends.
Bob to his friends, and I know you're a big friend. Negative reaction, the Dick Van Dyke episode, that still to me is right there towards the top.
It's up there with the Nimoy episode for sure.
If I made a top 10, that might fit into it just because that whole, were you witness to what he just did? Were you witness? I mean, that alone, I just fucking love that moment.
Yeah, were you a witness to what he just did is really, that's up there. The first Patrick McGowan episode's pretty great as well.
Oh, yeah.
Troubled Waters had the problem of Columbo's on a boat and he walks into the guy who does it immediately, which, okay, again, art, whatever, I guess. Like,
follow the feather, man.
Yeah, that aside, that kind of, again, a little bit of not a cheat, but like a little bit of a cheat to get it to be like, oh, okay, fine. Other than that episode, I think it's probably negative reactions the best of the season. But I think Troubled Waters is the second best episode of the season. Yeah, I think so.
I would probably put By Dawn's Early Light as the third best of the season.
Yeah, and then I think beyond that, everything else is vying for fourth place. I would say Playback and Deadly State of Mind are definitely the lower end of things. And I think Playback is probably the worst episode of the season by not a big margin. I think that, actually, I think Playback might be one of the worst episodes of the show that we've seen. So given that that's the case, I don't know. A Deadly State of Mind has its problems, but at least it's only 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if this was 90? Holy shit. 20 more fucking good night. 20 more minutes would feel like an hour with this episode. Oh, let's see them play Clue at the fucking party. God, I can only imagine what folk nonsense we would have gotten. But at the same time, it could have been fun. I just don't need to see it. You don't need to see it. And you've already said pretty early on, this episode's already 10 minutes too long, let alone if we gave it another 20, holy moly, 30 minutes too long.
Next season's going to be interesting. There are some real high highs and some real low lows. I don't think any of them really hit the same highs as the ones that we've mentioned for this season. But if not, they're pretty darn close. There's two next season that I go back to pretty regularly. And ironically enough, they're directed by the same person. So that's nice. And then McGowan comes back in force next season, also directing 2 episodes. Did you see what I did there? Not my favorites.
Surprise.
And one of them might be the worst Columbo episode ever. So,
oh, dear God.
Yeah, it might be. Because if you were to, all the authors that we've had on here, all the fans, all the people that we've talked with, I would not be surprised if every single one of them put this one in the lowest tier. Like even at least of the NBC years, like the ABC years definitely miss more than they hit. But yeah, this one, especially because season 5 is going to be pretty good. Season 4 was really solid. Season 6, I think we're going to get some great ones as well. So when you have a stinker of this caliber amongst all of those, it makes Playback look like fucking Emmy worthy.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
That bad, huh?
I'm not going to spoil it and say which episode it is.
I feel like at this point I will know when I watch it.
Oh, you certainly, yes.
Does it start bad? Is it like does it just get into it immediately?
I think so.
Oh dear.
It's one that I will actually skip during a marathon. So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a consensus as well is not great. So I liked season 4. I think season 4 of the show was pretty good. The Dick Van Dyke episode, I think, being the standout. If every season has one standout episode, that I think is a success. And given that there's like 6 episodes a season, it's not enough. That's like barely enough to be considered a season of anything. Even now, fucking Game of Thrones was at least 8. For fuck's sake, even that show needed 2 more episodes, especially the most recent season, House of the Dragon. But 6 episodes is not a season of anything. That's fucking 2 episodes more than like a mini series, really.
I want to say season 6 is only 3 episodes long.
That is a mini series. That limited time event, if anything.
Exactly.
Holy shit. That's pretty crazy. But I think at the same time, we know that the way that this show, look, this episode aired April 27th. The last episode aired March 2nd, because this is part of the wheel, right? So, they didn't need 18 episodes of Columbo. They only needed enough to stagger it with everything else. But it's surprising that some of the episodes aren't great given that they didn't need that many episodes. Like, that's the other thing. We give shows like The X-Files or any show that has 20 plus episodes of pass per season because, odds are, at law of averages, there's going to be a handful of there's going to be a handful of amazing episodes. There's going to be some great episodes. There'll be plenty of good episodes, and there'll be a couple shit episodes, and then there'll be some episodes, small handful, that are complete dog shit. With a show like this, you don't have that much to go off. So it's like one episode being bad sucks more than 2 or 3 episodes being bad in a 20-episode season. Because this is 6. There's 6. Oh my God. 3 episodes. Oh my God.
This is a pretty decent ending to this season. You will notice going forward, maybe with season 5, definitely. Actually, with season 5, I think it really starts the will Columbo be back or won't he type of endings. Because we talked about that a little, I can't remember which season it was, but there was one where it was like, oh, they could have ended the show right here. And it was a nice little send off for Columbo. You're going to get those more and more as these seasons go along because of his shenanigans, as far as you got to pay me more, you got to give me more control, those kind of things. So they will start to put in little endings as far as, and that was the last time we ever saw Columbo.
Was it season 2?
I think it was. I'm trying to remember what happened.
Dabney Coleman.
Oh boy. You say Dabney Coleman, I
Martin
think of
Landau
another episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny. That's very supernatural, right? That show had, 6 fucking endings? Every season after season 2 or 3, they were like, we could have just ended the show here. And it's, that show ran so long it ended during the pandemic.
Oh, Jesus.
It started when I was in high school and ended the year the pandemic happened. But that's the thing. Columbo starts just as early and runs just as long. Columbo, by the end of it, is pushing into almost the 90s, right? Late 80s.
Yeah.
Good old Peter Falk. He knew his value, and they really thought Columbo was something special. Look, that's the thing. You don't cave to a guy like that if he's not worth it. And he's worth it. Peter Falk was 100% worth it. And even a mediocre episode of Columbo is still pretty good because you get to see Peter Falk do it. We have another show in the works that we haven't released yet, but we've been working on it for almost a year now. And the main actor in the main role didn't do much else in the way of, he did a lot of other things, but not as well known. I say Peter Falk's the same way. Peter Falk's kind of known for this. And guess what? If you're known for this, and you're as well known as he ended up being known for this role, you don't need anything else. Some people like Harrison Ford who have 3 or 4 well-known roles to their name, but some people like Peter Falk only had the one. And when you have statues in random Polish cities to you,
Hungarian, thank you.
Hungarians. Hungarians.
There might be in Poland too. I don't know.
Very well might be. But I think at the end of the day, when you have something like Peter Falk as Columbo, you don't need anything else. And the quality shows out. It plays out on screen. And even a bad episode of Columbo is still worth it because of Peter Falk just killing it. But he knew his worth. Good for him. And he was able to hold him over a barrel. So fuck him. Fuck him in the ear.
Yeah, fuck him in the other ear.
Fuck him in both ears.
So we are going to not come back to Peter Falk on the episode. We're actually going to stay with our good friends Levinson and Link for 2 things. I don't know if Link was involved in The Gun, the 1974 TV movie directed by John Badham. I know Levinson definitely was, and they both were involved in the execution of Private Slovik, which stars another Columbo alum with Martin Sheen, and then ironically The Gun stars Stephen Elliott, who just got murdered in this episode. So they definitely favored some actors, some people behind the scenes as well. So we're going to take a 2-month respite here and talk about 2 TV movies that came out in 1974, so right around the time of this episode that we are discussing tonight, and kind of the end of the season of Columbo, and we'll have some fun with some TV movies in the meantime.
With our friend Martin Sheen, Ramon Gerard Antonio Estevez.
CC,
everybody.
Yeah, we've got there's some really good actors in these TV movies. So I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen either of these. I remember reading about The Gun forever ago, and it feels like I've seen it, but I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it. It was very tough to find for a while.
Charlie Sheen is in the other movie.
Really?
Yeah, a very young Charlie Sheen in his second film role.
So one's got Martin, the other's got Charlie?
No, both has one is Martin and Charlie. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that movie is winning.
Okay.
With Tiger Blood.
With Tiger Blood.
Running through its
Wall Street.
What a fucking nightmare. What a nightmare that was for like 5 minutes, right?
Oh, God. Yeah. I did like the auto-tune song version of that. Though.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
great.
Winning Tiger Blood. Oh, my God. Everybody was into Charlie Sheen for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't come out as some sort of like MAGA spokesman or something crazy like that.
He was just fun crazy. He was crazy with none of the problems. He was just a fucking wackadoo. He was just, I'm having a good time. I'm rich and I don't care. Like,
he was crazy with a C instead of crazy with 3 Ks.
Yeah, baby. Crazy now is not as much fun as it used to be. It's a lot less fun and a lot more, what's the word? Serious and horrifying.
Yeah, and a lot more public too.
Yeah,
Boy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we used to talk about how we needed to have discussions about mental illness in America. We still need those discussions, but we don't need to see the mental illness on display as much. Thank you.
I disagree with you entirely.
I like crazy girls.
Who the hell don't?
Well, Chris, until we come back next month to talk about the execution of Private Slovik, what are you working on these days?
Everything I'm working on is audio based, other than one thing that's a YouTube video, and all of that can be found for the most part at weirdingwaymedia.com, which is where all the stuff that you and I work on can be found, because that's the network that you and I started. What? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? God, I don't even remember.
It's time flies, man.
Time flies when you throw a clock out the fucking window. What about you, Mike? Where can people find you and the things that you work on?
Pretty much the same place, weirdingwaymedia.com. That's where all the shows that you and I do, other than the one show that we do for Patreons, for both the CultureCast Patreon at patreon.com/CultureCast and the Projection Booth Patreon, which is patreon.com/ProjectionBooth. And that is Rankin' on Bond. That is our monthly discussion of all things James Bond. We're joined by our dear friend, Mr. Richard Haddam of Richard Haddam's Paranormal Bookshelf, in order to talk about James Bond, Jimmy Bond to his friends, or in that weird Casino Royale that we talked about all that time ago. But we are cruising through things. We're up to Roger Moore. I think we got 2 more movies until Timothy Dalton, so I'm looking forward to that because I love me some Timothy Dalton. I want to thank John Walker for our opening theme song, and Mr. Colin Gallagher, who has a new book, actually 2 books out, so definitely check out Colin's work. You can pick up both of those over at Amazon. Colin Gallagher did our final theme song, the awesome Bossa Nova theme. So much to him, and thanks to you for listening. Please rate and review the show wherever you get it. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.